Hey everyone, welcome back to the Porsche 944 EV project. Today, well of course, I'm going to update you how we've been doing with the workshop. Quick version is, we've done a lot of stuff and there's still a lot of stuff to do. But what's that? Behind me? The Porsche bonnet is open. Does this mean finally I'm getting back to the car? It does! Today, we're going to work on the 944. In fact, we're going to take something off. The car, of course. So, yeah, let's go do that. So, before we get into this week's video, a bit of an update on how things are progressing in the garage. So, we have obviously loads of installation and then even more plasterboard up. This wall is nearly finished. That wall has a little work to go. We have a new distribution unit thing for the power down on the floor here. That's going to go up in the corner where this ugly thing is. That is actually all being wired in. So we've got wires running through this back wall for sockets in each bay. And then on that back wall, we'll have sockets for the front of the bay and the back of the bay. And then this area, which is going to be our sort of workbench, 3D printers and everything, we're going to have 8 sockets along the wall here as well. But there's other things that have happened too. Obviously, we've been drilling all of these holes through the walls here so that we can have sockets where we need them. But one of those holes maybe got a little bit too close for comfort. And we now have to add to our long list of damage on our lovely Porsche 944, a little additional ding here as the drill bit came through the wall. The story of what's been going on electrically carries on outside. So here's the garage behind me, but actually all the way over here, the 3-phase wire is this one going across here. And then it comes out over here. Now the top cable is the old electricity going to it. It looks like a thick cable, but it's not. It's a conduit with some thin cables in it. The bottom one is our thick 3-phase. So that runs all the way around here. And then ultimately it runs into the building there so that we can power maybe a compressor that will probably sit here, and then inside welding equipment and everything we need to really get to work on the car. I'm dying to get to work putting the lights on this ceiling. We've got these really cool hexagonal shaped lighting that will crisscross across the ceiling. It'll make it much nicer to work in here. It should show off the form and shape of the cars a lot better. Unfortunately, for the next week or two, we still have building materials here and nowhere else to put them. So this is kind of out of bounds at the moment. But within the next couple of weeks, the plasterboarding will be finished, the electrics will be finished, and we will then only be working on installing our work surface over here. But you'll be happy to know that rather than just talk about the workshop, I actually want to do something to the car today. Now, it may be not the right thing to be doing, but I've bought myself a socket set and I intend to take something off this car. There is method to my madness. Honest, well, maybe. I want to take off this front wing on the car. I've seen some pictures of 944s without this front wing on, and it's given me an idea for what I want to achieve with this car in terms of the look of the front wings. But I really want to see what's under there so that I understand it, and then maybe I can start working towards this idea more. It may mean that we don't need to repair these wings, which would be awesome. But yeah, let's see if I can take it off. What's always refreshing is that the bonnet release mechanism actually works on this car. So I really don't want to mess that up when I'm changing the car. But let's have a look at what we've got in here. So to begin with, it looks like it's fairly simple. I mean, someone's had some of these out already. So I'm going to start by trying to take all of these out down here with my new socket set. Let's give it a go. First time opening it. I feel like it's the wrong way up. No. Let's try that again. First time opening it. Is that seriously it? I can't open it. Oh no. Idiot. There's clips on the side. Now I wish I was sponsored by Halfords. Not sure it's the best kit to go for, but they do have a lifetime guarantee. And given my skill level, that may be a good thing. All right, we're going to try this one. I'm not sure there's much method to this other than not first time, not even second time, to be honest. I already tried. Perfection. So a change in tactics is already required. I need to get the drill. Clearly, even undoing some nuts is too hard a task for me. Guys, we're going to get this wing off. I can tell you, it's coming off. I found the one that fits. It's coming off. We've got more tools. Yes, we found that we needed this from our new socket set. In fact, the 10mm one was in my other socket set. So the new socket set will come in handy sometime, but today is not that day.
But it is not this day!
You can just, go back in there for now. Well, that was nice and easy. This thing doesn't want to. And one more. Awesome. Oh, what is going on with this one? He's got like rubber sealant around it. And he just spins and spins. So on him, we're going to try a size 9. Odd that it works. Having removed the bolts from the top, there doesn't appear to be anything holding it on here. But before I just start yanking at it, which is what I would normally do, it is attached to the bumper. So I think there's a couple around here that we need to find. And I'll see if I can steer the steering wheel to give us a little extra room so we can see what's going on. It's as horrible in here as always, but given the car is so light, oh my God, it's moving, hold on. Success, we turned the wheel, but let's see what we've let ourselves in for. I could see some bolts here, but I can also see a really rusty piece of metal, and that these bits, which I imagine are the supports that are holding the wing in place, are just rusted completely through, this one and the next. So it is attached to the bumper, but it is not attached to the car. They also look really flimsy. So let's try and remove this from the bumper and hope the bumper doesn't fall off. A different size. Who knew? I think I might bolt this back on to the bit we're taking off, the wing, so that I don't lose it. The bumper's off. Now, with a little bit of luck, this will come off. I feel like if everything in the rest of the car was as easy as that, we'd have this done in a week. Amazing. Part of me really wants to start getting all of this stuff taken out of the car. I suspect some of it we will need, like windscreen wipers, but other parts are really going to be redundant because we're going to have to use things from Teslas and other electric cars to replace them. What do you guys think? And how would you go about it? I don't know really what the best way to store all this stuff is. Is there any hints or tips that you guys could give me? Let me know in the comments. I could really do with some help. So we did it. We took a piece off the car. I can't believe it. It's different to the pictures I saw online. And I think that's because right here, we have what I'm assuming fairly confidently is an ABS pump. It's got brake lines coming in and out of it, and it looks like a pump. Coincidentally, on the other 944, that is one of the few things that isn't working. I doubt this one's working either, but maybe you can get them reconditioned. So without that there, without this great big lump there, this would look very different. And then back here, we've got those problem parts that we were seeing. So these were the parts that came out and were meant to be the mounting points for the front of the wing, but they've rusted all the way through. To be fair, they're properly shit. But once you mount the wing there, then the wing can bolt into the bumper here and support the bumper. So there's also this, which is some kind of mount for something. It looks like it could take lines in these maybe, I'm not sure. I thought it was maybe meant to be lined up with these holes with another part, supporting the front bumper, but I doubt that's the case because those holes through here are for the front lights, which incidentally are very expensive if you need to buy new ones. So I'm not sure what this is and whether we will need it in the future. We have taken a part off the car. I'm sat here on the cold floor, but I couldn't be more excited because look at it. It was a few mismatched bolts, but we've got it off, and let me talk you through it. At the front here, there is definitely some rust. I mean, I think it's mostly kind of cosmetic. There may need to be a little bit of work done on the mounting points there, but the front of the wing is going to be fine. The big issue that we already knew about was down here. This is a very common problem on 944s, that the sills and the fronts here on the wings, they rust through. And we knew that we were going to have to slice this, and we had bought a patch panel that we were going to weld on and try and make this wing good. And that would be fine if we were trying to make this look like a stock 944, but we're not. So my idea here is a little different. I want to make something really aggressive, maybe more akin to a GT-RS car, where on the wings, they basically delete a lot of this lower part, and instead you see some really cool parts of the car that are there for aero reasons and there to draw heat away from the brakes and expel it. Those actual working reasons may not apply to our car. We'll have to work that out, but the cosmetic reasons do. So what I'm intending to do is somewhere, maybe even as high as the top of the wheel arch, but probably, you know, in line more like down here, is to slice across this wing. And then here at the front wing, where we have deleted that lower part, we'll create a new piece of bodywork. We'll basically get rid of this ABS pump, or we'll move it somewhere else. And then this new part will curve around behind the wheel, just like on those GT-RS cars. And it'll have to be hard wearing because it might get some stones flicked at it, but I think it will give it a much more aggressive front end. And we may even flare out the wheel arch a little bit here as well. Hopefully you guys can see where I'm going with this idea of curving the bodywork in here. It should look really aggressive, but the thing that we need to work out is where we actually cut across the wing. I would like it to be like as aggressive as it can be in some ways, and just cut it from the top apex of the wheel arch straight back. But my concerns there, and why we need to do mock-ups, is that it will somewhat land in no man's land, probably about here, which doesn't flow into any of the lines of the car. And I don't want to ruin the lines of the car. So what I'm thinking is that we actually need to bring it down a bit and bring it in line with this. Not the rubbing strip. The rubbing strip will go, I hate the rubbing strip. But it is the natural apex of the curve of the door. I love the curves of the door. So I think if we bring it in line with this, it's going to keep those classic 944 lines and just add a really aggressive element lower down. Now, I'm obviously not just going to get an angle grinder and have a go at this. Angle grinder's probably not even the right tool, but I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start mocking this up. With AI, I'm going to take some pictures of a 944, pictures from a GT-RS car. I'm going to start trying to put this together and then do some mock-ups that you guys can see. I've also got to work out what's going on with the suspension. Some of it, I'm told, I don't know, and I'm going to have to compare it to the other car, is from an S1 rather than an S2 Porsche. The reason for this, I'm told, is a lot of drivers want a certain style of wheel, which is like a black and silver or black and chrome wheel that was synonymous with Porsche and the 944. It is a very cool looking retro wheel, but they only fitted on the S1 suspension. So people would change S2 suspension to S1 suspension just to be able to have that wheel. Now, I don't know, but there may be loads of other reasons why you might switch the suspension from a Series 1 car onto a Series 2. Maybe it gave you loads of different wheel options that you otherwise wouldn't have, or it was superior in some way. I've got to find out, do I need to convert this back to S2 suspension, or do I need to try and do something else entirely so that I can fit the kind of wheels on that I want, which are probably much larger and more aggressive than the car would have ever had at the time. Thank you for all your support. All the comments mean the world to me. I absolutely love reading them and answering what I can. As you all know, I don't know that much about what I'm doing, but it's really surprising to see how many views we're getting, but also that most of the people viewing aren't subscribed. And it would mean a great deal to me if you would subscribe or like the video. It really helps me out. I can't believe that we've had over 70,000 views and we've got over 2,200 subscribers. This is nuts to me, so thank you so much. And while we're not big enough to start talking about sponsorship, Red Bull, my favorite energy drink, especially in the sugar-free variety, I don't think they're going to go for it. I would like to ask for some help. We've been talking about wheels, and it's clear I don't know if I should be changing the suspension, leaving it as it is, and what my wheel options might be. So if you work for a wheel reseller or a manufacturer,
Help me!
I would love to talk to you, and maybe you could help me understand what my options are here. I'm not asking for freebies. I don't expect them to look at my tiny little channel.
Help me!
But it would be great to not make costly mistakes of buying the wrong things or making the wrong changes, which are just going to result in
Help me help you.
breaking the bank and us not being able to continue on the project in other areas.
You are hanging on by a very thin thread.
The same is true of 3D printing. I have like a consumer grade 3D printer, and I have a pretty good 3D scanner, but
And I dig that about you.
I don't have anything that can do large parts. And beyond that, I would love to, once I've got the bumpers modeled for the car, look at, I guess, CNCing them out of some kind of foam that you could then, fiberglass and work on creating molds from. I don't know anyone locally. So I'm in the east of England,
Help me! I help you! Help everybody!
but I would love to work with anyone worldwide, really. But particularly, east of England, we have Lotus Cars nearby. Maybe some of their suppliers are local as well.
Help me!
But also, just the UK in general and our friends in Europe. It would be amazing to work with anyone and try and help me skip ahead a little bit and not make so many mistakes on the way.
I am out here for you. Up at dawn, pride swallowing siege.
So yeah, if you're going to help me make this car actually happen, I would be so thankful. Please help me. Please do reach out. And also anyone that knows anything about seats. I need some seats in this car. Is there a name for people that know about seats? There should be. I don't know that either. Help me with that. Let me know down in the comments. We've got so much to do. I want to get the dashboard out of the car and start cleaning up inside. I want to do some 3D scanning, so we need to get that work surface in here. I really want to start taking some of these other parts out of the car. We're going to do some paint stripping and see where we get on with that. So loads of episodes coming up. We have a big plan of where we're going to go, and we're going to start doing some designing as to what this car is going to look like. Oh yeah, and we need to work on the EV powertrain. So thank you very much. I'll see you in the next one. Christ, I can't get out without a seat. It's really hard. I'm out. No, I'm not. I'm out. Yeah. Oh.